Hello everybody, welcome to the Scott Show. I did promise yesterday, the first day we relaunched this plan of doing the Scott Show podcast network, I did promise that I would talk about AEW All Out. It happened just a few days ago. It happened a few days before Labor Day. I wanted to talk about it because the world is kind of talking about it. It is AEW, All Elite Wrestling. So I want to cover All Out, a little bit about what is going on with their stuff, and just talk about it. Now, I want to give a little premise here, a little idea of what's going on. I am a big wrestling fan, have been a big wrestling fan since forever. Back in 1984, I saw Ric Flair and Kerry Von Erich, Texas Stadium. I did see it on a video, but I saw it, and it totally changed my life forever. I love Ric Flair. Kerry Von Erich was one of my favorites. It was a David Von Erich Parade of Champions. So, that being said, that's where it all started. I still love all of the wrestling. All of it. I used to work for NWA Alabama as their website host. Had a lot of interesting conversations with people. Baron Von Raschke being one of them. Wild Bill Irwin had a show we actually put on for a group I was working for. And he was there, and he was fantastic. So, a shout out to Wild Bill Irwin. Alright, so now we go to AEW All Out. Like I said, it did happen on August 31st. Now, I am looking at Wikipedia on this, folks. I'm just telling you straight up. I want to make sure I'm pretty clear on what goes on. So, if you guys are wondering, if you're hearing the scrolling in the back, that's what's going on. I'm here by myself. I did talk to a few people yesterday, talked to some guests, possible co-hosts and guests for the future. Really excited about that. So pumped up. We're going to get lots more people excited about what we're doing here on the podcast. And I thank you for listening. So, AEW All Out, it did happen on the 31st of August. It did happen from the Sears Center in Chicago, Illinois. It did start, as all AEW shows start out with, a show called The Buy-In. This is their show that they do. It's the pre-show quotations. If you heard the kind of quotation sound, but I'm also making them with my hand, even though you can't see anything. So, the pre-show started with the Casino Battle Royal. It was a 21-woman Casino Battle Royal. Yeah, I'll just go through some of the people who were in it. You had Lita Bates, who was in it, Priscilla Kelly, Penelope Ford. Now, I'm going to give a big shout-out to Penelope Ford. I think she's absolutely amazing. She shined at, I believe it was All In, when a Joey Janela Adam Page match. She was the one that shined out of the whole thing. Penelope is a hell of a person. I follow her on Instagram. She's cool people. I give her lots of credit. So, Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, she's actually a dentist. She was in there. Tennille Dashwood, the former Emma from WWE, was in there. Brandy Rhodes, of course. Awesome Kong. Now, I'm just going to break down for Awesome Kong for just a second. She is not only a beast of a competitor, she's also a fantastic actress, playing Tamay, the welfare queen, on the show Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, on Netflix. So check that out. Awesome Kong, you are amazing. Allie was there when after Brandy Rhodes right away. Teal Piper, Roddy Piper's daughter, was in there. Did not last long at all. ODB, love myself some ODB, man. I love myself some ODB. Jazz was in there, which, when I saw Jazz come in there, I wondered what had happened with her NWA World Women's Run, and that she was supposed to face Allison Kay at the anniversary show, I think, or the Crockett Cup or something. But Jazz was in there anyway. it was cool to see her. And Mercedes Martinez was the Joker. Now, the way the Casino Battle Royal works, 21 people, 5 come in at a time, and then there is the Joker card. It does not... The Joker card, to me, does not make a whole hell of a lot of sense, because you know it's got to be somebody who's going to excite the crowd. If your Joker is Gilbert, or... If I'm trying to think of a terrible woman wrestler that I'd put out there, and there's not a lot of them. I mean, okay. So if I had to pick from here, let's say Teal Piper, kind of an unknown kind of character, but if she comes out as the Joker, how many people are gonna go crazy? I mean, if it was Awesome Kong, business is about to pick up, as old JR used to say. So. The thing is, Mercedes Martinez, not a huge name, but for the market, for the fact that Shimmer is there, for the fact that she is a phenomenal wrestler, and I've heard this, I've listened to a few other All Out reviews. She's a fantastic wrestler, and I'm never going to doubt that. She was in the Mae Young Classic, so she does have the background. She was a Joker, got a great crowd response. But the Joker's always going to be somebody. It's either going to be that last surprise that you need, or it's going to be somebody with a name, so you know that, it's kind of set up already. And I'm glad that Miss Martinez, Mercedes Martinez, I'm still getting over this cold, folks, so I do apologize, that she didn't win. Only because in the first one, Adam Page won, being the Joker. And the whole thing what is he going to do for that night? And then he didn't think he was going to be there, and he shows up, comes to Joker, and then goes on to the championship match later on tonight in this show. So, it ends up where B. Priestley was in there, and you also had Britt Baker, excuse me, and Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose is a very interesting wrestler. She's a big competitor. And Nyla Rose ended up winning. It'll be interesting because now Nyla will move on to the inaugural Women's Championship match on October 2nd. The first show on TNT, which I'm still shocked as all hell about. That AEW got TNT clearance, especially after the whole WCW fiasco. But hey, Tony Khan's money will talk. And Nyla Rose will move on to the Women's Championship match. In the next match, Private Party versus Jack Evans and Angelico. There you go. Sometimes with just different things, it's hard to say names. Private Party, they are so new, but Jack Evans is just a dynamo in the ring. I like Jack Evans. I did when Wrestling Society X was around, and I can't wait to maybe do a little podcast about Wrestling Society X and XPW and all the other places that were just kind of cool. But Private Party, they have a match against the Young Bucks coming up. First round of the AEW tournament. So there you go. Private Party defeats Jack Evans and Angelico. I said it right this time. Yay. Not being used to all of these names, it is what it is. Now, the pay-per-view starts with SoCal Uncensored. That's Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky. Now, Daniels and Kazarian, I know a lot about from Impact or TNA Wrestling. Daniels has been a wrestler out there for a long time. Never really got the run that he absolutely deserved. Kazarian kind of the same way. I think that he had a little bit more just something going on for him. I mean, these guys are professional through and through. They're facing off against Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt. Now, Jungle Boy, I believe, is the son of the late gentleman from Beverly Hills 90210. If the name will come to me, Luke Perry. There you go. Luchasaurus is just kind of a big dude, and Marco Stunt, not a big dude. I'm not. Anytime I see Marco Stunt out there in a wrestling ring, I'm like, who let my kid go out there and try to be a wrestler? You'll hear a lot of that through this. There's a lot of small guys in AEW, but this one definitely, the Jurassic Express, as they called them. They were defeated by SoCal Uncensored, Daniels, Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky. Now, hey, I'm going to totally say that that's cool. Daniels and Kazarian and Sky are great wrestlers, and I like seeing them out there. I just would wish to God they would have better opponents. Hopefully you got the Daniels and Kazarian group, that tag team, or maybe they can do a Freebird rule, go after the championships, and we'll see what happens from there. Your next match, kind of a change in what it should have been. It was set up as Kenny Omega, I don't even know how he said, the best bout maker, I don't even know. But it was Kenny Omega, who had Match of the Year candidates all the way through the last few years against Pac. And I think it is said Pac, not Pac, so it does not get confused with X-Pac, but it's Pac. And that is the former Neville, former Cruiserweight champion in WWE, and an all-around awesome kind of dude. So, Pac defeats Kenny Omega. It was a referee stoppage. A very interesting match. Kenny Omega, obviously the best bout machine, is I believe what he called himself. Kenny Omega is a fantastic wrestler. I could watch him go the whole time. I mean, he's got all the timings down. His clashes against Okada, amazing. Pac, very hard to say that. I just want to call him Neville or Adrian or something. You know, I mean, or the Bastard. That's his other name that he likes using for himself. It went 23 minutes, which is a really long time. But not for these guys. They could probably go on forever, and it wouldn't be that bad of a deal. But Kenny Omega lost, and the crowd was kind of shocked about that. I was kind of shocked about that, but I really want to see what happens with this moving forward. If they tell a good story, I'm cool with a good story. Always cool with a good story. And Omega losing right away. He is going to face off against Jon Moxley. That was the actual match set up for All Out. It will be at Full Gear, which will be on November the 9th, I believe, in Baltimore. So check that out. Yeah, and hey, I'm a big fan of wrestling, and you might hear a lot of bad things, me saying bad things about AEW, but hey, I'm still going to say check it out, support wrestling. I do for the most part. There's a local group around here that I will not support, but I would, if there was another show around that came around here, hell yeah, I'll give them my money. So that's just kind of how it goes. The next match was the Cracker Barrel Clash. It was Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, and the bad boy Joey Janela, or as the leader of the cult of Cornette, Jim Cornette, calls him, Jelly Janela. And that name works for good old Joey. Because he does not belong in a wrestling ring. Now, Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, Joey Janela, they are spot fest wrestlers at best. This was a hardcore match with a Cracker Barrel. Darby Allin actually took the coffin drop, tried to hit. I can't even remember who was underneath the thing, and the barrel just broke. But Darby Allin, he's likes pain anyway. If you see some of the